I built 12 working AI agents in 3 hours without touching a single n8n node. Everyone's still wrestling with complex workflows while burning weekends learning automation platforms. Here's the system that completely bypassed all of it. But here's the thing, if you build this wrong, the agents conflict with each other and create chaos instead of automation. Most freelancers spend 15-20 hours weekly on repetitive client tasks. Lead qualification, proposal writing, project setup, all manual grunt work. Traditional n8n workflows can handle this, but they require weeks of learning nodes, API connections, and debugging broken triggers. The real problem: rule-based automation breaks the moment anything falls outside your predefined parameters. Your workflow assumes perfect data entry. It expects clients to follow your exact process. Reality doesn't work that way. I'll show you how AI agents handle the unpredictable stuff that destroys traditional workflows. I'll walk you through exactly 3 systems: the agent builder that replaced my lead qualification workflow, the email response system that handles 80% of my client communications, and the project setup automation that creates entire client workspaces. The third system is what most people think is impossible, but it's actually the easiest to build. I'll prove it by showing you the exact 4-step setup process. Traditional n8n workflows follow rigid paths. Lead comes in right arrow check company, size right arrow if over 50 employees, send template A right arrow else send template B. Works great until someone submits incomplete information or uses unexpected language. I was maintaining 6 different n8n workflows for client onboarding alone. Each one had 15-20 nodes, conditional logic branches, and error handling for edge cases. One API change from LinkedIn broke 3 workflows simultaneously. Here's what a typical n8n client workflow looked like. Form submission triggers webhook right arrow HTTP request scrapes LinkedIn right arrow if node checks company size right arrow Gmail node, sends personalized template right arrow email monitor watches for keywords right arrow Google Calendar, creates discovery call right arrow Drive, creates project folders right arrow Slack, notifies team right arrow Notion, updates CRM status. Every arrow is a potential failure point requiring manual fixes. Each conditional branch doubles your maintenance workload. Add seasonal variations, different client types, and changing business needs. The breaking point came when a qualified lead used "we're interested in discussing" instead of my keyword "interested." The workflow missed it completely. Lost a $12,000 project because my automation couldn't understand context. That's when I realized rule-based thinking was the problem. Not the tools, not the setup complexity. The entire approach was fundamentally flawed. Instead of programming specific responses, I built agents that understand intent and adapt their approach based on context. Think of it like hiring a smart assistant instead of building a vending machine. Agent 1 handles lead qualification through conversational analysis. Instead of checking preset fields, it reads the entire inquiry, understands the company's actual needs, and determines fit based on context clues most humans would miss. The first week I ran this, I was nervous it would qualify everyone or no one. So I built a confidence scoring system. The agent rates each lead 110 with reasoning. Anything below 7 gets human review. Here's the exact flow. Inquiry email right arrow Claude API analyzes sender, company, request type, and urgency indicators right arrow returns qualification score, suggested next steps, and draft response tone automatically generates personalized reply right arrow sends for approval if confidence is above 8. The critical difference is contextual understanding. Traditional workflows check company size, budget range, project type. My agent evaluates growth stage, communication style, decision-making process, timeline flexibility, and competitive landscape position. Agent 2 manages email responses across different client types. It maintains context from previous conversations, understands project status, and adjusts communication style based on client preferences stored in my CRM. Real example, generic template approach would send, "Thanks for your inquiry." Here's our service overview, my agent system produced. "Hi Sarah, I see you're scaling the design team at TechFlow after your Series A. Based on your timeline and the WordPress migration you mentioned, our brand system development would integrate perfectly with your Q2 launch. Here's how we've helped similar SaaS companies avoid the design debt that typically hits around 50+ employees. That level of context awareness is impossible with rule-based workflows." The agent referenced their funding stage, technical migration, team scaling, and industry-specific challenges. All extracted from a 3-sentence inquiry. If you're starting today, build this version first. Don't overcomplicate the initial setup. Get one agent working before building the full system. Set up Claude API access through n8n's HTTP request node. Create one webhook that receives Gmail forwards. Send email content to Claude with this exact prompt. Analyze this client inquiry. Return, qualification score 110, main need identified, suggested response tone, draft reply under 150 words. Connect the output to Gmail's send draft function. Test with 3 sample emails before going live. This gives you 80% of the value with 20% of the complexity. Gmail forwards trigger n8n webhook right arrow HTTP request, sends email body, sender info, and context notes to Claude API right arrow. Claude returns qualification score, client need, response draft, and confidence level right arrow. Gmail creates draft reply with Claude's content. Key fields passed between tools. Email subject, sender company, message body, previous threaded. Claude processes these and returns structured JSON with draft content, urgency level, and follow-up date. The JSON structure matters here. Consistent formatting lets you chain agents together later. Each response includes metadata that other agents can reference and build upon. First test. Forward yourself an inquiry email and verify the agent produces a contextually appropriate response that mentions specific details from the original message. If it's generic, your prompt needs refinement. The real power comes from agent memory and cross-system context sharing. Most people build isolated agents that don't communicate with each other. That's like hiring employees who never talk. My agents share a context database in Notion. Agent 1 qualifies a lead and logs company details, pain points, and communication preferences. Agent 2 uses this context for all future emails. Agent 3 pulls the same data for project setup. Before, each workflow operated independently. I manually copied information between systems, and nothing improved over time. Data lived in silos. Context got lost between touchpoints. Now, agents learn from each interaction and share insights across the entire client lifecycle. Response quality improves automatically as they encounter similar situations. Pattern recognition happens across all client interactions. The numbers after 3 months of testing. Lead response time dropped from 46 hours to 12 minutes. Email draft quality improved. 89% of AI drafts required no editing versus 23% with templates. Project setup time decreased from 2.5 hours to 35 minutes. Most importantly, the system handles edge cases that would break traditional workflows. Unusual company structures, complex project requirements, and non-standard communication styles don't require new rules or node configurations. The agents adapt in real time. They don't need updates for every possible scenario. They learn context patterns and apply them to new situations automatically. 3 key systems. Conversational lead qualification that understands context instead of checking boxes. Adaptive email responses that maintain relationship continuity. And shared agent memory that improves performance across your entire client pipeline. The setup takes 3 hours because you're building intelligence, not programming decision trees. Each agent gets smarter over time, instead of requiring constant maintenance. Next video, how this same agent architecture can automate your entire content production workflow. Not just client communication, but research, writing, and distribution across multiple platforms simultaneously. The setup I'll show you processes 50+ content pieces weekly, while maintaining your unique voice and adapting to audience engagement patterns in real time. Same principles, different application.